yeah, just so that you know, this is not only my two offices. I've offered it up to the Fredericksburg office. I have an agent. It's not my agent, but she is out of New Jersey that I had a chance to sit down and talk to. And then I have an agent new to Fathom, Natalia Toms, who is just super and a character. We went to lunch the other day, and Matthew, I will eat just about anything. And so she's Jamaican, so she took me to a Jamaican restaurant. And so I told her, I'll be back again, give them a warning.
Yeah, I felt like the worst parent in the world. I have one of my 3 daughters had not had Indian food, which is absolutely one of my favorite. And so I took her, and she had some trepidation. And about 4 bites in, she's like, we're coming back, right? The child's 19 years old. She's like, can we just do lunch here tomorrow? That'd be great. I didn't sample enough stuff.
All right. So anybody else in the waiting room?
Nope.
All right, might as well press on. So good afternoon, everyone. I want to tell you thank you very much for joining this. A little bit about our speaker. Matthew Rathbun is a friend of mine. He's an instructor. He's taught a number of classes that I've attended. And in fact, he taught SRS and RENE, those 2 designations in Richmond. And I traveled to Richmond to take the classes. I look at Matthew as one of the premier instructors, in fact, the premier instructor that I personally know. I think you'll really enjoy this class. If you are not tech savvy, there's a lot of still good information in here. Matthew, if this old fart can understand it, then just about anybody can understand it. I think you'll enjoy the class. I'm actually going to try and book Matthew a couple of times during the year for different things, because I value how he instructs, and I value what he instructs. So Matthew, floor is yours.
Mark, those are the nicest thing I've ever heard anybody say about me. And now there's nowhere to do but fail, because I can't live up to that. And I'm getting a little bit of a restraining order after this, but that's fine. That's okay. No, I appreciate it. We came up through some of this together. I mean, we started teaching a long time ago. I like this particular topic for a number of reasons. And since the last time that Mark and I talked about, we've expanded a little bit for a couple of new things that have come out and some things I'm watching agents do. And I personally started about 6-7 months ago saying, you know what, I don't like traveling and teaching. Even before COVID, I was doing a lot more remote stuff and pre-recorded video stuff for our company. We have been doing a lot of virtual stuff for the past probably 6 years or so. So this was a bit more of a natural environment for me to be in anyways, for video. And then I started seeing that there was a lot of stuff in our classes, especially designation classes. We just never could get to some of the meatier stuff, like the how-to stuff. How do you use this app or that app or things? So I started for me personally, putting more stuff on YouTube as an adjunct to training, and then also some stuff for getting clients. As a matter of fact, I've got 2 closings that occurred. One occurred 2 weeks ago. One was supposed to occur today, but you all know how that goes. And so it's next week, but both of those clients came from a YouTube video I posted. And one of those came from a YouTube video I posted many years ago before I actually started investing in the channel. So I do believe in these tools. I also oversee a company with about 300 agents, and we started really pushing in on YouTube probably about a decade ago. And we've got some agents that are doing it now, and they're really getting a huge audience from this and getting some business. So I'm going to share with you some of the stuff we've done. I am a broker, but I'm also a bigger geek, and I love tech and tools and gadgets and devices. My wife was laughing at me this morning when she came in and I was adjusting and putting new lights in the background there. She's like, how many, because I have some over here and over there. She's like, how many lights do you need? I'm like, there's not enough. I don't know the answer to that question. And I could control with my voice. And my wife's like, you're a foot away, just turn the switch on. But I can do it with my voice. So I love the tech and gadgets. And I think I just stayed in real estate for the past however many years so I could write it all off on my taxes. So when I talked about video, for me, it was a matter of filling a need. There was 2 things two parts of me that I have to deal with each day. One is me, the real estate agent broker who deals with clients, who oversees offices. And then the other part is me, the technologist and instructor. And so I found that for both of those parts, for advertising and communication and building a tribe, video was a huge win for me. I'm only going to be talking in this session with us we have 2 hours together. I'm only going to be talking about YouTube and video in general. There are many other parts that have been working. Loop video, Bomb for consumer engagement and sending out through CRMs, for recruiting as a broker. They're very, very valuable parts, but there's just not enough time in the session to go over those. So I'll be focusing primarily on video for real estate agents and gaining business in tribes. We as a culture, we do not watch anymore. Read anymore, rather we watch. When you hear somebody go, I read an article the other day, they read the headline and they read about 4 sentences. If you don't believe me, go look at Facebook right now. People going crazy on this article, and the only thing they read was the headline, because when anybody starts talking about 4 paragraphs down, they're all like, oh, I didn't read that. And so we've become very good at getting engaging clickbaity kind of headlines and stuff. People don't read the context. This is why New York Times readership, they'll tell you that because they're very, very lengthy writers, their readership ends about halfway through the article. And so they have to put all the engagement and all the meat and statistics up front, because people don't read opinion parts later on. And other sources have gone to video as well. So we don't read more, we watch. And as consumers, think about our buyers and sellers, 76% of home buyers use video to view homes. As a matter of fact, in a recent survey, we found that outside of Zillow and Realtor.com, YouTube was one of the most commonly used sources for looking for homes and information. YouTube is owned by Google, and which is why it's so easily found when you do Google, or when you do Google searches, they put videos in a high ranking place. But also Zillow has put out information saying that consumers are 400 times more likely to click on your listing if there's a video attached to it. And so we know that video is huge. Matter of fact, it's the most engaging thing. I just got finished writing. It'll be launched next 2 months from now. I just got done writing another designation or certification for NAR, and this one is on being a listing marketing specialist, an 8-hour class on marketing listings. And the sections that I started writing about any type of print marketing and direct mail got significantly reduced because the statistics aren't there that it works. And we expanded the video because there's overwhelming evidence and statistics to support video working. YouTube itself is the most used search engine outside of Google for everybody. 81% of home buyers are likely to look at a home online if it has a video. And 89% of buyers will look at community videos. In other words, here's the one of the things that we need to understand what our place is, so to speak, as marketers. Forget about being a real estate agent for a minute. Put on your chief marketing officer hat. When I'm looking at what consumer behavior is, we try and have for 115 years in this industry, try to move people and maneuver them into, we have to be the gateway. You have to come to us to get listings, information out of the MLS book, and then eventually out of MLS, and eventually like Realtor.com had, you could put 4 photos for free, but then you had to pay because they knew that's where the consumers were going. And so we've always tried to say, you have to do real estate this way. Consumers, especially in the last generation, last 2 or 3 generations, younger, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z are going, no, that's not how we're going to do this anymore. And so they go and look for homes on their own. So those of you who've been doing this for a while know you're not showing 30 homes anymore to get somebody to buy. You're showing 4 because they have used the internet to alienate other properties because of bad virtual tours, no videos, bad photos, whatever. When the home buyer is looking online and their journey is about 18 to 24 months of looking for a home to buy, they are heavily invested in Zillow and Realtor.com. And on those sites, they're getting tons and tons of listing information. They can find the houses. What they cannot find is local information. This is something that none of the aggregators are doing, but frankly, only a few real estate agents are doing. And this community video they're looking for is to tell me what's around me. When we look at consumer statistics, we understand that that baby boomers were very interested in the home, the 4 corners of the property, how big's the lot, how big's the house, what's the future investment in it. My generation, the first section of kids from baby boomers, and then then millennials, and then Gen Z, our 3 generations, we're about what's the lifestyle. We will buy a smaller, lesser home if it's closer to the church we want to go to the schools we want our kids in, to the shopping, to nightlife, to all those other things. That's what video can do, is fill that need for the consumer of, okay, I found home, but is the neighborhood the right place? See, these consumer personas, understanding the statistics behind how consumers behave, all of them point to video being the biggest potential marketing tool that we could possibly use. It also happens to be the one thing that most agents hate using and don't. And when I ask agents, why don't you use it? They're like, I just don't like how I look and sound on video. All right, do this. Take your phone, record yourself for about 2 minutes and play it back. That is what you are subjecting the world to all the time. So what people are seeing of you all the time is no different than what's in video. Why not put it in a video? For me, video lets me edit out all the dumb stuff, right? I can make myself look, it's because it's social media, right? We only put the cool stuff. We don't put the fact that we've been fighting with our spouse for the past 3 hours about where they want to eat. What we post is the really cool food that's in front of us on Instagram. We only put out the best of us. That's what video allows you to do, is to edit and put out the best of you. 46% of consumers act after they watch a video about a service or product. Almost half of your consumers watch video and they take action. This is true for every brand and including real estate. 49% faster revenue growth for marketers who use video in the past year. So all of these statistics are pointing to video being an incredibly important part of what we do in the future. This is how we're going to market. This is how we're going to engage. I know Tom is very involved at VAR. I don't read those articles anymore. I listen to the podcast and I watch the videos. And I'm someone who, my whole job outside of teaching is risk management. But why am I going to go read an article that's going to take me however long to read when I can watch the briefer version of the same thing on video, or I can listen to it while I'm driving back and forth to the office or appointments? That's where your content is. So videos do work, podcasts do work, but that's a different webinar. Videos do work for us, especially in our niche. Now we're going to start with, when we're creating video, how are effective videos actually created? And part of this for me is to sketch it out in a storyboard. How do I want to see the end result of that video? What is the story I'm telling? Now, remember, Freytag told us that there's 3 primary parts to storytelling. There's the exposition. Why am I here? Why does this matter? Who are you? There is the climax, the most important part of the story. What do I want my viewer of my story, my video, to know or feel or understand or consider? And then there's the denouement. That is the happily ever after, what comes next, what's at the end of this. Now, there's rising and lowering climax elements and all the rest. For those of you who are literary majors, my favorite class, by the way, my favorite degree, there's those storytelling elements are there. For us, whether it's in a 30-second or 90-second video, we need to cover those 3 elements. So your first shot, your first sketch of this video is, make sure I introduce myself and tell them what I'm getting ready to tell them. My second shot could be my intro video. My third shot could be, let's explain and set up the rising climax, to set up what you need to know. Then there's here's the big point you need to know. And then there's the decline. And then here is the denouement, the end. I did a video about 3 years ago. I was standing outside my backyard. The quality is crap because I was learning this particular model. And I wanted it to feel raw. Like, I didn't want it over polished, because that's not the feel of YouTube. The feel of YouTube is more intimate and is more real. And it's not like this high quality Hollywood studio setup. Now that equipment is getting cheaper and editing is getting easier, more people are getting a little bit more polished, but I wanted something in the middle. So I'm standing out by a tree and I simply started talking. And I started talking about why open houses are not something I do. And not statistically something that actually results in the end that most sellers want. I posted it and immediately got 3 emails from consumers. I also got some very mean texts from agents. But the consumer said, can you, we tried to sell our home. Our agent wouldn't do an open house at all. And we think that's why our home didn't sell. I'm like, nope, your house didn't sell because you didn't price it right. Because right now that open house is virtual. And it gave me the opportunity to explain why we're doing 24-hour virtual open houses as opposed to in-person open houses. I got 2 of those 3 people who call me to list. And in that the power of that moment for me, for a video that took me all of 45 minutes to record, cut, edit, and post, showed me that what people are looking for is answers to problems. Some of them they didn't know they had, and some of them they know they have and they can't find real solutions to it. So This storyboard is a way for me to lay out my thoughts before I get in front of the camera. Once I've storyboarded it, I also have to keep some tips in mind. For effective videos to work, and we have seen both, we've seen all sorts of attempts at videos. An effective one is going to be usually less than 90 seconds. If you go over 90 seconds, you start losing your audience because that's not what they're there for. It doesn't matter how great and engaging the content is. You're only going to get about 27% of your audience to watch past 90 seconds. And it is past 90 seconds. You have to be really funny, super engaging, and have a really relevant and topical discussion. You need to tell a story. Remember, exposition, why are they here and who are you? What is the important part of what you're trying to convey to them, and what do they do with that information? What's the happily ever after in the end? Music sets a tone always. There is, if you're in a store shopping and there's no music playing, you pay attention to it, right? I mean, it feels weird to be in a store with no music playing. When you're doing video, some of your best video, at least in the beginning, are going to set a tone, whether it's positive, upbeat music, or whether it's more monotone or slow or whatever. It sets a tone for your engagement. If you're doing something less than 90 seconds, you want music the whole time. Anything longer than that, it starts to get repetitive and drawn out. But music is also very minor. It's a very low thing in the background. It should be ambient. It shouldn't be predominant. So use music, have a call to action at the end. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to subscribe to your channel? Do you want me to email you? Do you want me to register for your newsletter for more information? In your storyboard, that sketch that you just took a blank piece of paper and wrote out what you want it to look like. You don't need to use an app or anything high tech. You need to decide, how does this end? You cannot tell a story without knowing the ending, unless of course you're the writers for Lost or some of these other shows that have come out. But for other things, you have to know what the end is. What is the action you're trying to demand of them by this video that you're doing? And it should have a demand. It should be register on subscribe on my YouTube channel so you can get more videos like this. Go to my site and register for an email. Call me if you're ready to sell your home. Call me if you want a safe path to closing. Another video that I did was right after COVID started. I actually in the studio right here, right back against that wall, before I got all the lights and walls painted and everything, I had just a very quick conversation with people saying, here's what I'm going to do to keep your family safe during the beginning of this pandemic when we don't know what's going on, so you can still sell. That video got passed along and forwarded to people who are thinking and selling. People who are currently were calling out and saying, hey, our agent's doing nothing. They're not taking it serious. They even told us COVID isn't a real thing. Will you talk to us a little later, when we get out of this listing arrangement? It's like somebody who knows you're going to get a divorce trying to hook up with you at the bar. It's really weird. And you have to be super careful. But I'm like, yeah, as soon as that listing agreement's over, give me a call. I can talk about how to keep you and your family safe. And those things connect to people. It was a very casual, not very highly produced video, just saying, here are some of the things we're doing. We're taking it serious because we don't know what's coming next, but you still need to sell your home. And it worked. It was very effective. Have that call to action. Be personable. Again, don't just read. Just you sit down with the camera and just record for a while. If you don't like it, you can record again. If there's stuff you don't like, you can edit it out. Just have a conversation with the camera as if they were a person. Be funny, unless you're not funny. If you're not inherently a funny person, don't even try it, because it doesn't come out well. But if you are a funny person, be goofy, quirky, throw a joke in there while you're talking. It doesn't have to be all serious all the time. People want to connect with you. They will connect with the humanization of humor. And then lastly, don't suck. And here's what I mean by don't suck. I don't mean don't be bad at it, because you can be bad on video. People still make business being bad on video. When I say don't suck, what I mean is don't be mean. Don't say, well, you know what? There's other agents out there who don't care about your children, and that's why they're not treating COVID very safe. I mean, that's dumb. It doesn't make you look good. It makes the whole industry look bad. You don't have to put down other people in order to promote yourself. A matter of fact, in a world that has become hyper negative in the past 3 to 5 years, that has become very, everybody's attacking everybody and stuff, you could stand out by being the positive, funny thing that they got to see that day. Breaking that flow of negativity is what makes a lot of agents and brokers stand out. And so don't suck, don't be mean, don't put other people down, be consistent and be positive. Focus on what you're going to do, not what others are doing wrong. Types of videos to consider. One is a video bio that's used just sitting in front of the camera going, here's what I believe as a real estate agent. Most of you have written bios where people can go read about who you are and your background. All I'm saying do is to take that same bio and now just record yourself on camera talking about it. People want to connect with you. When we read, we only retain about 30% because we're lacking body language and tone and energy and eye contact. Those things will increase connectivity by about 70% and retention by about 70%. Video is a much better way to do that. So you can create a video and post it on your website, have a link in your emails or whatever for people who want to get to know you. Number two, listing videos. I can't say this enough. This has been a big game changer for us. For about 5 or 6 years, I've been doing listing videos for all the listings, and we totally ripped off the HGTV model, where it's just me standing outside in front of a camera going, guys, this is what you need to know about the house, the neighborhood. Let's go inside and take a look. And then it's just a walkthrough video. Again, because it's on YouTube, it gets a higher ranking for Google searches than if you put it almost anywhere else. And we get some good engagement with that. And if you have camera ready sellers, I like recording my sellers doing the narrative. The sellers are going to be more sincere about their love for their home and little things about it. And you just follow them around with your little iPhone and have them tell their story. It's much more compelling. Community videos, as I mentioned, and neighborhood videos, these are two different things. Community video is going to be about the community, your favorite ice cream shop, me going, and let's say that Mark owned an ice cream shop, me going in and saying, hey, Mark, why don't you tell us about your ice cream shop? And just putting a camera up there, again, unedited, not raw, allows people to get a feel for the neighborhood. I've got a video of the dog park. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's me just like, speaking of restraining orders, they should do that for me in the dog park, because I was just there over top the fence, panning and zooming and watching all the dogs play. And I did not get any kids or people in there, because then it's a whole other privacy issue and all the rest. So I was only recording the dogs playing around the corner and chasing each other. And then I flip the camera around and go, have you been to any of the 2 Fredericksburg dog parks in the area? This is a great place for your dog to come and enjoy. You can find it at the intersection. Here's a couple tips that I would suggest. Bring another toy for the other dogs, bring a Frisbee, do something, keep them energized. It's important to keep them healthy. 45 seconds, a minute. But when I put that kind of content out, those people who are not yet ready to buy or sell, who are in that 16 to 24 month consumer journey process, are now looking at the community differently. Or even if they're not thinking of selling, there's a reason for them to engage my content. For some reason, we in this industry put out a ton of stupid content. Guys, here I am at closing. Look at my happy clients right at closing, Instagram photo. It's a hostage situation. When you're taking pictures of people unwillingly and posting it online, it's a hostage situation. Those Instagram photos are, all the agents are like, I post photos of my clients at closing because I want people to know what I do for a living. Oh, thank God that proctologists don't do the same type of marketing. I mean, what are we doing? Or you take a picture of a house, you're like, I got a new listing today. No one, I hate to tell you, but no one cares. Other than other brokers are trying to recruit you because of all the listing photos. You're not building, all you're doing is creating another marketing channel. We see 3,104 advertisements a day. You just became 3,105. Now, if you tell me a compelling story, you tell me about a new restaurant I haven't visited, I'm going to listen and pay attention. You tell me about the dog parks. You tell me what's going on with VDOT in the area, when that new bridge is going to be finished, what's going on with that new building around the corner, that new mystery construction building. Everybody wants to know what it is. Tell me when Chick-fil-A is going to open. Lifestyle content shows you're also involved in your community, that you're engaged with it. What really hits home is when you go out and give nonprofits some attention. So I'm on the board of directors for a couple of nonprofits here in town, one for food insecurities, one for housing needs. One of them's much bigger than the other one's much more, everybody loves because it's food all the time. And so when I do a post talking about the need for to feed hungry people in our area, I get a whole different audience. And that group starts to recognize me with being involved in my community, and I become more important to them because there's a social connector than yet being one more realtor in town. Does everybody understand that these videos can help tell the story about community and life and engagement, and not just, I'm doing my job today. Now, the neighborhood videos are specific to the neighborhood. Not every neighborhood's got a story to tell, but some of them have an HOA. Some of them have a pool. Some of them have a playground area. Again, another place to maybe not take live shots and video of people's kids playing on playground stuff because of privacy issues. Even if it's public, putting a kid's face or a person's face could result in you having to take that video down. So we typically do the play area either with family that I've gotten consent to do that with, or it's just, nobody there at all during quiet time. Whatever it is, taking video, creating a video, telling the story in 60 to 90 seconds of a community helps to bridge a connection between consumers who may be interested in or live. Now, here's what happens. I took on, or I didn't take on, I've been a hiker for a very, very long time, but I got really engaged over the past year and a half of hiking every one of the trails in the region and posting about everyone and giving reviews about them and using all trails to track this stuff and using my blog post to say, hey, I'm going to do a whole series of articles on things to do with your kids outside where it's safe, because people were concerned about being inside in close proximity. Hiking is a great healthy thing to do. It's good for your family, and Fredericksburg has some amazing trails. And so I posted a video about me on a particular trail. The volunteers who manage that trail shared the video. Guess what they did? They introduced their tribe and their followers to me. I didn't have to go out there and hunt more clients or go like everybody's stuff or go follow people on Facebook and Instagram. They followed me. When the trail group posted the video I did about how awesome the trail was, I wound up with over 150 new email subscribers on my blog, who are people who are signed up to get my blog and newsletter about community events. If I had posted a video about my new favorite listing, no one would have signed up for my newsletter. Certainly when I got 150, no one would have reshared it. That's good content, and it stays there forever until you take it down. And in testimonial videos, again, getting your clients to share their experience with you so you can share that with future clients before an interview or put it on your website or whatever is much better than that social media post. You're going, my clients love me, and here's why. Okay, so a question. Sean says, when it comes to talking about different things other than real estate on your YouTube page, should you have a page dedicated to that content or just one? When we're looking at, and this is probably a little bit beyond the scope of this class, but I'll just share this theory. I mean, I study real estate marketing a lot, and unfortunately, I hate to say this, and I always get a little bit of pushback on this. Just about everything we do in real estate marketing as a group is wrong. It is the opposite of what marketers would ever tell us to do. We keep regurgitating horrible ideas amongst ourselves. You're a brand now. What you're marketing, when you say I'm doing brand marketing, your new listings, the fact that you have clients isn't brand marketing. That's just simply it doesn't actually have any connection value. Brand marketing is to be the totality of who I am, my products and what I do. When you look at some of the big brands and people who are doing marketing stuff, they're talking about their consumer engagement, mission to feed people, plant trees. For every t-shirt you buy, we plant a tree. That's why people connect with that brand. They want to be part of something bigger. Your YouTube channel could be you and the kids on vacation talking about how you love the beaches of Miami. That connects with the people with you as a brand and what they like the beach, you like the beach. It could talk about the new listing that you have, because that's also what you do. When you have pages just dedicated to just real estate all the time, it's just another, most of us pay to get rid of marketing, right? I pay Spotify and I pay Apple to have no ad music. I pay for all my streaming services so I don't get ads. I don't use Hulu because you have to pay too much to not get ads. A lot of people pay for stuff to not have to be bothered by ads. They're not going to subscribe meaningfully to your blog or your Facebook or your YouTube channel if it's just their new listings. They have other venues to get new listings. But if you're giving them 15-to-1 ratio, so 15 of your Facebook, your social posts, whatever they are lifestyle things, cool things, social connectors, you get 1 out of 15 a chance to say, oh, by the way, I have a listing. I'm a real estate agent. If you like me, you'll like what I do for a living. Give me a call. So I don't think you should have 2 channels. I think your channel should be all about lifestyle and you and advice about how to run a household, advice the best way to cut the grass, advice about how to clean a garage, and videos of you painting the floor of your garage, believe it or not, has an audience. People are interested in those things. And that's what I would be posting there, not on a separate channel. It's a great question. Thanks for sending it to me. Testimony and then niche videos. When I mean niche videos, pick a topic and stick with it. Mine was smart homes for a very long time. For about 3 years, I had a strategic plan that smart homes was going to be my thing. I wound up getting PR firms hire me to go to Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas for 2 years. I wound up getting a bunch of articles and paid opportunities to be an expert and spoke at Inman and a couple other places. And it all started with me saying, I'm going to use smart home stuff as content for my blog and for my consumers. So niche stuff can be whatever. You could be an equestrian specialist and you're doing farm and land. You're doing how to clear land for horses, what I need to have. One of our agents called me yesterday laughing. I had 2 weird calls in 2 days. Yesterday, an agent called me and said, I have clients that are moving here and they want to do new construction. And they want to know if they can have a horse. And she said, she told him, she goes, yeah, you can have a horse in this county. She said, I'll get you the guidelines. And they came back and said, well, do you think a half acre will be big enough for a horse? Now, my agent, who is super into horses, is like, yeah, no, not a half acre. And also, by the way, here's the rules and the regs. And I asked my agent, like, why didn't you do a video about that? Like, hey, if you're buying in Gainesville, Virginia, here's 5 things you need to know about having a horse if you're new to having horses on your property. It's a great content. People are looking that up. And somebody just showed it to you. I also got a call today for someone asking if I knew the rules for having a helipad in your backyard. Man, we got some bougie clients going on right now. I don't even know what to tell you. I know you need more than a half an acre. I clearly don't know the FAA requirements for having a private helipad in your backyard. And they, of course, are also looking at Fairfax. I don't think you're gonna find a backyard in Fairfax that have a helicopter, but whatever. But these are the questions we're getting. So those are a good thing. Put on a video, even if it's funny. Go on to Facebook and go, guys, been in real estate for 20 years. Got a question today no one's asked me about. What do I need to do to have a helicopter land in my backyard on a routine basis? People are going to love that kind of content, find it funny. They get it. You're a real estate agent. That's the subtext. What you're really talking about is this helicopter. I would watch that video. Like a real estate agent got asked that question. I need to know what I'm never going to have a helicopter. Well, I can't say never. Things are going good right now, man. Real estate market's great. Maybe I'll get a helicopter. But I'd watch the video anyways, just in case. Elon Musk is going to be taking me to the moon on a bus soon. So you don't know. I could have a helicopter in my backyard. Bio videos, as I said, are a great way to introduce you to your potential followers and clients. They have a good shelf life, but they're not resumes or intros. Don't do a video where you're giving them like, I won the Realtor of the Year, I won the Instructor of the Year, I won this, I won it. That nobody wants to watch on the video. They want to know who you are. Why do you matter to my family? How are you going to take care of me? One of the dumbest things we do in this industry is say, I'm a top producer. You immediately only appeal to baby boomers for about 16% of the active market right now. Because Gen X, my generation, millennials, Gen Z, they want to know you're taking care of us and our family. We don't want to hire you if you're so busy that you got 20 other people you have to answer to. The top producer thing is also grossly overused. Like HomeSnap this year was giving out trophies for literally most improved agent because you sold one house last year or this year more than last year and everybody's posting it. The consumer has no idea what these production awards are. All they know is we give them to ourselves a whole lot. But if I were to go out there and talk about who I am to that family and what my motivation for being an agent, why I'm going to protect them and unique things about me, they're far more likely to watch into the video, engage than you just taking a victory lap because you got a trophy. And I do find it interesting that the industry, I hear a lot of people going, those millennials, man, millennials, by the way, they talk like they're children. They're now 40 years old. But putting that aside, those millennials, they just want a trophy for everything. Have you ever been to a Realtor Association event? I mean, agents will lie to get a trophy they had to pay for about their production the prior year. Realtors love them some trophies. Anyways, listing videos. Again, still from HGTV. Talk about it on the outside, walk on the inside, show it off. And then I guess a hint or a tip here. If you did not know this, because as I mentioned earlier, Zillow says they have an incredible engagement for your listings that actually have videos on Zillow. Once your listing is posted in MLS and fed to the aggregator to Zillow, you can go on your phone to the Zillow Premier Agent. You don't have to pay. You don't have to be a Premier Agent. You can go to the Zillow Premier app and you can use the app to find your listing and click on that gray box that says add video. Zillow does not let us post YouTube videos on Zillow, but they will let us record a video through their app. So what I recommend is one of these. This is a stabilizer. And in the stabilizer that you're going to use, what it does is you put your phone in there, and whether you move or not, the phone is weighted and it stays balanced as you go through there. It's called a gimbal. And I have a link to the ones that I recommend on my website. Matter of fact, I forgot to do this. I totally forgot. Sorry about this. I've got all my slides are on this PDF I'm uploading in the chat section right now. Sorry, I forgot to do that in the beginning. Nonetheless, in the slide deck, you'll get my website. If you go there and look under resources, I have all the gadgets and tools I'm talking about in the second half of the segment available for you to go play with and look at what I'm recommending. Thanks, Mark. So anyways, so if Zillow is the one exception to this. It doesn't allow YouTube videos, but you can record a video using the app, and it's a silent video. You walk through with your phone. If you are watching a video that somebody's done when they're holding it, no matter how steady their hand is, it's still moving around and doing stuff like this. If you use one of these stabilizers, one of these gimbals, it'll steady it so you won't have that problem at all. And it'll look much, much better. Now, on the flip side, Realtor.com does allow you to add YouTube videos. If you go into Realtor.com, again, for free, you don't have to pay for anything. We give them enough content that they give us this one for free. You can go and claim your listing on Realtor.com, and you can add a YouTube link. Now, what I love about this is your MLSs are not letting you put your YouTube videos on there because of all the personal branding. Well, yeah, that's fine for MLS. Most of the marketing, don't tell anybody I said this, most marketing that we're doing that's successful is MLS distributed to the aggregators, and then we go to the aggregators and we add a bunch of stuff and we add a bunch of content, and that's what's selling the houses right now. The MLS, we're not having agents call up because they found it in MLS for us. The consumer calls up because they found it on the aggregator, and we dress ours up because we have found when we add longer descriptions to Zillow and Realtor, when we add videos, when we add more photos than we could on our own site, when we add our own downloadable home books with all of our branding and all of our contact information, the listings actually get way more attention and traction than when we just let the full stream come from MLS out there. I'm hoping that one day all of our, now, and let me just back up. Bright MLS is the most kick-ass MLS in the world. They are awesome. I am a huge fan, but they are limited by the realtor influence of saying, I don't want competitor stuff on my listings out there. I don't want branded downloads. I don't want branded photos. That's fine. I understand why they're in that conflict. In the interim, these aggregators where I can go add all my stuff and add the home book and add the flyer and brochures and add videos are getting super, super traction out there. And we're getting much more engagement from consumers because of the videos and things we're adding. So, anyways, so that's my suggestion is go to create that video, that listing video, go put it on Realtor.com. You're going to see a whole lot more activity on that site. And again, you can put your own call to action. You can be on video, talk about the house. You can end the video with like, hey, if you want to know more about me and what I do, go to my website, check it out. Community interview, I talked about community interviews already, talked about testimonials. I forgot I had separate slides for these. All right, niche videos I mentioned earlier. I mentioned it for me, I did a smart home series for a while, an unboxing video. So I get a new gadget or toy and I go sit at a table and I show them what it's like right out of the brand new box. By the way, Mark, this is the OWL for streaming meetings in classrooms. I'm doing an unboxing later, just so you know. I'll send it to you. But there's unboxing videos, and I'm going to show a couple examples of what we did in this niche that really got some good engagement for us. Yeah, but I have my own now. I'm fancy like that. Anyway, so inside real estate, I have an agent who does inside real estate where she just literally 2 minutes a day, she's sitting wherever she is. She could be at a doctor's office. She could be sitting in her car. She could be sitting at the office. She just 2 minutes a day. She posts a video and says, so today in real estate, I learned that. And she talks about something that anybody could need to know whether they're buying or selling. I learned that termites do X, Y, Z. I learned that it's not enough just to turn off the water and disconnect the hose when it's freezing. I learned that plants grow better in this kind of room than in others. And so it's stuff that she learned that is lifestyle useful. And she's also kind of quirky and funny when she does it. Frequently asked questions. If anybody's asked you a question in real estate more than once, that means that's a question people are Googling before they get to you. How many acres do I have to have a horse? You know, you're going to be asked that. Or what happens in a home inspection? One of the most popular videos I have right now is what sellers need to know if they have smart cameras in the house when they're getting ready to sell the home. Now, it does two things. One, it reminds them what I do for a living. B, it answers a question I get asked a lot by sellers. We've all been asked this question, right? It's in the listing agreement now after so many years. And they ask questions about conveyance. Now, that video that I have, I also send ahead of me before my listing appointment. Hey, if you have any cameras, here's a video about this. Also, here's what you need to know to get the house ready for listing. And I send that video content ahead before the listing appointment, so they get some solutions to problems they didn't know they have before I got there. So if I'm going to be an agent competing against another agent for the listing, and I've sent ahead some information, educating them on stuff they hadn't thought about, I'm already way ahead of anybody I'm competing against. And because I'm asked these questions all the time, it's easy to repeat, to explain it, make sure I got the answer exactly formatted the way I want to, and have that answer ready when somebody asks about it. And let me just say, somebody last night, I got an email from a past student. She goes, Matthew, she's like, I took your classes such and such. She goes, I don't have time to do all this marketing. I just don't know where you find time to do all this. She happens to be the most active, one of the most active agents I've ever seen on a particular Facebook group with other agents. And I'm like, you had to have easily spent 2 hours last night bickering with other agents about something stupid. Guess what you could have been doing at that time? Building your business, engaging other people, instead of sitting online complaining about association life, or realtor life rather. They also complain about association life, but that's petty and I don't talk about that. So, but I'm like, there's your time right there. That's what you could have been doing. You could have been spending that time with your phone sitting there on a tripod in your living room and answering questions that consumers ask all the time. And in the 2 hours it took you to bicker back and forth about the issue at hand, I won't mention it because some of you are probably a member of this group, that had nothing to do with you and won't solve anything. Yeah, it wasn't. It was Facebook. This was not that group, but let me just say this because some of you remember, I'm watching, if a good place to go watch this is on the Echo and Nova Facebook group. If you guys are a member of that, there is so much time wasted bickering about stuff and so many wrong answers. It's like, have you ever read the law? That would be a good start. Anyways, but some of those groups, I watch these agents and I go look at the production and I'm going, if you spent a fraction of the time you spend on Facebook, you'd have 50% more business if you just spent that time engaging consumers. So if I sit in my living room and in 2 hours, I can knock out 10 2-minute videos and get them edited and on my phone, I've got 3 months worth of content right there. 10 videos, easily 3 months worth of content I can post, and it lasts forever once I post it. So those frequently asked questions, tutorials on how to use things, things like waterfront. Go down to the waterfront of your new listing and talk about why reservoirs don't let you go swimming, but they let you go fishing, or why you can't have a motorboat, but you can have a paddle boat. What's the best kind of paddle boat you've seen before? All those things. Luxury is a niche. If you do have fancy bougie clients, do not do luxury videos and explain about luxury housing if you've got a 1999 Nissan or Honda Civic or something parked behind you that's what you're driving. You ain't speaking the same language. So go pick what you're good at. Go pick what you're good at to talk about. Okay, this is an example of a video. This is my business partner, Angel. She and I were installing, and it was new construction. We were installing some smart home devices. We did get the builder's consent. We had many listings with this particular builder. He'd been a friend of mine well before I even got in real estate. So 35 years or so, we've been friends. And I got him to sign something. Even my friend, I had him sort of hold harmless before we went in there and installed the smart home stuff. As we're getting to install the stuff, she said, why don't we just do a quick video about what these items are and where they belong in the house? Now you'll notice this was back in 2016. So this is a while back. We did not have a script. We didn't have a storyboard. We didn't have a teleprompter. We had a big cardboard box full of gadgets. We pulled them out. We talked about each one. And I had a portable tripod, which I'll talk about in a later slide. And we put it on the countertop and we just talked. The audio is not even great. We posted on November 2016. And within about 2 months, we had 5,800 views, including listing opportunities that came out of that for people who either had smart home gadgets or were interested in them. We also sold that house because somebody watched the video. We shared it on our Facebook pages, on Twitter, and on Instagram. And there we go, boom, we have clients. That really kind of started this whole niche thing. After that, we also did videos with installing things. Like for those of you who say you're not tech savvy, again, Angel, she has an MBA. She's super smart. She's smarter than I am on a lot of things, but she had never installed anything, I think. And so we did a video of her installing a August lock on the door. And I have to keep stopping the video and editing it because she keeps going, what do I do now? I'm like, you use the straight head screwdriver. She goes, which one's that? I'm like, you had a 50-50 shot. Like there's only 2 there. But anyways, that's just to tell you, I'm recording this. If she ever sees it, that she's going to kill me. To tell you, she had no idea what she was doing, but she's engaging. She talks to the camera. She's very happy and smiley all the time. And so we did this installation video. We edited out the things, made her look like she didn't know what she was doing, and posted the best part of her up there. And then we get people asking about, what's good about the August lock versus this other lock. And, I tried to install it, didn't work, but then I watched your video. And now we're in their lifestyle. We're helping them solve life problems on a day-to-day. Unboxing videos, again, is literally, as I showed you, it's pulling something out of the box and going, folks, let's show you what we just got. This video here is one of her doing like a tech box or something, technology box, mystery box. Product comparisons, talking about why we want like one thing or another, or better yet, to talk to real estate. My sellers or my buyers prefer this over this. My buyers prefer something or other over granite because granite has radon as a byproduct and you're going to die if you sleep on your countertops. I don't know. Anyways, so you choose like different products about what clients would like. And if you need sources, man, one of the most underrated tools in our industry is the Realtor website. The nar.realtor, what used to be the realtor.org website. Go look at the some of the reports that they've done. They've got one that actually talks about the consumer's joy score, that they prefer, this type of roofing or this type of bath, or installing a new bathroom or kitchen raises their joy score, makes them more likely to buy a house. Those reports are just tons and tons of data for you to talk about. For you to sit there and go, hey, you know what? As an agent, I guess asked all the time, what's more important? If you only have $5,000 to invest in upgrading your home before listing it, what would you put the $5,000 in? Well, the NAR report says kitchens give you the best return on investment. And here's the article, and here's the post, and here's the date. That content is just invaluable for creating more video content. And then lastly, just advice. I do advice things frequently. Sometimes it'll have nothing to do with real estate or anything else. It'll be me sitting right here in my office talking about why I like this type of computer better than this. I mean, there's no comparison. It's Apple all the time, but I got to explain why. But that's building an audience. That's people seeing you as a real person, answering a question, sharing information with them about something that has to do with their life. And oh, by the way, I'm a real estate agent. You can subscribe to my newsletter down below. This type of stuff works all the time. I got a video that I've scripted and storyboarded out now, where I'm going to go to the local library. I'm a huge reader. I love the library. I don't go anymore because I make money now for a living and I can buy things. But before that, when I used to be in emergency services and I was a kid and we didn't have any money, we would at the library every single week, getting a couple books, reading them, bringing them back, great memories. But our library does more. I did a blog post, and the reason I'm doing a video now is because the blog post was so popular. I can only imagine the video will be 100% more popular. And the blog post I did was 5 tools the library has you didn't know about that you don't have to walk in the door for. They have free tutoring service, at least the one here in the Central Rappahannock Regional has free tutoring services for school kids. They have lynda.com is free for your library membership, which is otherwise I was paying $350 a year for it to learn new things. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they had that you could, audiobooks and videos and things you can rent virtually now if you do have kids at home, during a break or something. And it was super popular. People were sharing it. Consumers were engaging it, and not everything has a result in a closed deal to be successful. It is a totality of this content you're creating that creates opportunities to be successful. All right, so a couple of tools and resources. Let's see, what app do you use to edit your videos on your phone? I use iMovie because I'm an Apple person. I use iMovie for quick edits, and then we're gonna talk about some other apps later to edit things. I will share with you that I use my iPad more than I use my phone to edit things. I have big, Barney Rubble fingers. And so that precise editing and splicing and things on the phone is just too small, even with a Pro Max size iPhone. So I use the iPad a lot more. It's much more precision based and works a lot better for me. On the desktop, I'm going to talk about some apps in a little bit that I like. All right, so let's talk about some other tools and resources before we get right into the YouTube. Your smartphone is your media center now. A friend of mine, we were in a meeting recently, and I looked at her and said, man, your camera is amazing. Like your Zoom meeting is way better than what you had before. What did you do differently? And she goes, oh, I got the iPhone 13 and I'm using the camera on my iPhone instead of the webcam. Now, the cameras I'm using right now is a Sony 7i or 7 III with the lens kit, and all the rest is running about $3,200. You don't need to do that to do video. I do this professionally all the time. You can use your phone, and especially if you've got the iPhone 11, 12, or 13, and you want the Pro with the extra little cameras on there, or if you have the Google, whatever the Google Android phone is. Forgot the name of it.
Said before.
What's that?
I think you said Pixel before.
Pixel, yes. The Google Pixel has very, very good video on there. Not much of an Android fan, but the Google Pixel is good. Samsung and the rest are okay, but the Google Pixel is fantastic. Those will do just fine for video now. They've so upgraded those things. They've really focused on it. And you can just hit record on the inherent app here. You can edit it later or do something else with another apps, but you can just hit record and do your video. A couple things about getting the best video. Number one, lighting is really important. This is my daughter and I on the same weekend. Actually, no, I'm sorry, in the same area, a couple different weekends. But one of us, you can see the sun is coming in behind us. It making her hair looks all frizzy and crazy and messy and like a halo effect. It doesn't look good. The second one is with the light coming down on us, the same camera, by the way. And you can see it's much more clear and crisp, and the hair looks better, the smiles look bigger and not as dark, and all of that because of where the light focus is on the same two subjects. So when you're looking at light, you want light coming from behind your camera. So if you are outside, you want the sun behind you, the videographer, directed at your subject or object, whatever you're taking pictures of or that you're videoing. And it doesn't matter what kind of camera you have. If you have a high-end camera, if you're buying the, $2,000 to $3,000 Sony cameras for video right now, they still do better. Even though they'll adjust to low light or highlight settings, they will still do better when the light source is behind them, behind you, the videographer. And then remember your rule of thirds. So everything that when you're looking through the video port, whether it be for photography or for videography, you're going to divide the frame, the person you're looking at or your subject, into 9 boxes. It's called the rule of thirds. And in the rule of thirds doesn't mean you want people into center. Matter of fact, most of the time you want to be off to one side or another. So notice here that when I stand off to the side, you still get me. This is why reporters stand off to 1/3 of the frame. You still get me, but you notice now in the background, my Christmas tree. Now, when I stand out of frame and my camera adjusts to it, notice that you have a solid frame with nothing obscuring you, and your eyes are looking at everything at the same time. When I come back in frame, you're now focused on me, but background is still a story. The Christmas tree is still a story. The blue lights, the old record player, all those things are still part of my story because my background, my environment tells a story. So especially if you're doing these outside, you want to be on 1/3 of the frame so that the rest of the background completes the story. When I'm teaching right now, you see I'm center, and that is to get your attention directly on me while I'm speaking. Actually, I could care less where your attention is. I'd rather be on the slides. This has got nothing going on for you. But when I stand off to the side in that same video, I've introduced my environment to be part of the story you're telling. And in this case, you can look at this and see I'm on 1/3. There's a plane behind me. What do you think is going to happen next? Remember, your exposition is you were here to look about 1/3, but the story behind me is that I'm in a small biplane. I thought I was going to die, but it was fun. I found out that my friend had a pilot light he'd been working on for years, and he just got it. I got a phone call going, I get to go out by myself now. Do you want to go? I made sure I had life insurance, and I said yes. All right. So the rule of thirds is important. The teleprompter app, this is up to you how you want to do this. I like the teleprompter Prompt Smart app. There's also a teleprompter app. That's the actual product name. I like Prompt Smart because I do enough of the Pro. It's more expensive, it's about $12, so it's not like it's going to kill you. I like it because Prompt Smart works well on the iPad rather, for a teleprompter build out. Most of you are not going to have that, nor do you need to buy one. The teleprompter apps that you're looking for are the ones that will let you look at the camera here and will scroll what you're saying on the front. This is why if you're an Apple user, teleprompter app, it's a blue app, is probably one of the better ones for that, so that you're not looking off the screen or off to the side or over top of the camera to get it. Here, you need to know who you are. I do not do particularly well with a teleprompter, but there are times where the client who's hiring me for things wants me to say things very specifically. And so they will help to write a script, and then I need to stick to it. So I will use a teleprompter app to make sure I'm sticking specifically, especially if I'm doing promos for a class or a product, or if I'm talking about a listing. There's things I want to remember, I'll have them there. All other times, when the client who's hired me doesn't want me to say specific things, I just use a white grease board and I put bullet points to make sure I want to talk about things. And I practice it 2 or 3 times, and then I just go for it on video and I don't stop. If I make mistakes, I'm going to edit them out. So it doesn't take a lot of work. This is very low tech. That grease board really works for me. Some of you are like, I'm just smart as hell. I don't need prompts. I'm just going to talk for a while. And it's going to work for you. That's going to be great. And you're natural at it, and you can ramble through something and then edit out what you don't like, and you'll be good. But if you need a teleprompter, there's plenty of apps. Some of them are free. Most of them are very inexpensive, and they can work on your smart devices. Yeah, and that's another one. So Mark, you can help us all learn. We'll learn from your ways. Mark put in the direct message, because I think he wanted to not interrupt me, but that's okay. That he tapes a sheet. I'm assuming a sheet of paper, because, and if you're doing like 1,000, thread Egyptian cotton and writing on those sheets, I mean, I know you make some money, but anyways, I'm assuming paper sheets there. So and just do the same thing. And I've done that. Like, I do a lot of this stuff in hotel rooms too. That sounded super weird when I said that, like my OnlyFans page.
See, you want to rephrase
that. When I traveled a lot, I would do a lot of drop-in videos, for like 60-second, 90-second things. And I would just tape that piece of paper up if I didn't have a whiteboard. Or I mean, a little bit more revealing I want to be, but I carry dry erase markers in my shaving kit, because if I have good ideas, I use the mirrors in hotel rooms to do mind mapping and stuff on when I'm on travel, because I get a lot of downtime when I'm on travel. I don't go and hang out after class. I go back to the room. So I've also written bullet points on the mirror in the hotel room and did the video, not in the bathroom. That's weird. Don't do bathroom videos. That's what 16-year-old girls do on TikTok. That is not cool. All right, a couple other things. Portable lights. So I'm a Lume Cube fan. The Lume Cube light, I have a little tripod. As I mentioned earlier, I've got this collapsible tripod that goes about 4 feet tall, and I carry this in my backpack with my laptop bag all the time. And then I've got another one, the Joby, both of them are Jobies, but the Joby one has these arms that you can put on like fences or walls or whatever, or desks, and they cling to it to keep things still. And they're very, very lightweight. Like, you can't tell from me modifying it right now, because this is brand new and it's a little stiff, but that one can also go in a backpack or the back of your car. I find this is better for a backpack because it's way more compact. This is better for the back of my car for using for things. But then I also have this light. Now the Lume Cube I'm using is probably a little more expensive than what you were thinking. This runs about $70, but it does so much more than just be a light, because it has a timer on it. It has different color selections and different intensities, and charges through USB and stuff. And I use it all the time. You can get a good one for about $20 on Amazon. Matter of fact, I've got some links on my webpage for lower cost ones. But you can see it's a deck of cards, which means I can throw it in my backpack or whatever bag I'm carrying to have with me, whether I'm on travel or on the road or at a listing, and it would be all that you need for what we're talking about here. You don't need to have big can lights and all that stuff. That's professional level stuff. Also, microphones are important. The even in your Pixel 3s, which are really nice, and the iPhones, which are really nice, the microphones are not great. The room may not be great for it. I recommend either the lapel mic, and Rode, RODE, makes a really nice wired one that's inexpensive. I think they're less than $50. Make sure you get a long extension wire for it, and make sure that you're getting the wire specifically for smartphones. The 1/8 of an inch connector that connects it to your phone needs to be TRS. You'll see that when you Google it, but you want to make sure, just, you don't have to remember TRS, just make sure that when you're looking for one, that it is designed for smartphones, because they make the same size that is made for DSLR cameras or professional video cameras, and it won't work on your phone. So you got to make sure you have the connector for smartphones. The other option, and the one that I typically use, I don't use the wired very often, I carry it as a backup just in case, is Sabine Tech. If my camera will focus here on it. There you go, Sabine Tech. And you can see how small this is. It's about the size of a finger. It's not too big. And it works on Bluetooth. And you clip it on your shirt, and now you've got a lapel mic, and it's got a huge distance on it. They run about $100. So they're more expensive than the wired ones, but it takes about 5 minutes to fully charge, and you'll get about 6 hours of use. Most of us are not doing 6 hours of audio out of this. And it just, again, it clips on to your shirt, your blouse, your top, your whatever. I have seen agents or people using them who get a little self-conscious because they got this big microphone here. Your viewers know that you're using a microphone, so you don't have to hide it. You don't have to be clandestine. You're not, doing some professional. You're not going in and trying to do the drug raid where they're taping a body pack to the inside of you so that nobody knows you're wired like a cop. You're fine. It's okay to see a microphone. Anyway, it's got incredibly good audio on there, and again, it's portable. So I got that light and that microphone. They go in the bag, and I'm good. I've got a studio ready for me, and then we're going to post it to YouTube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here for a second and see if anybody has questions before I actually spend the balance of our time on YouTube. We have 2 hours, right, Mark? Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break here. So you guys get a break from my voice for a second. When we come back, we're going to go all in for the rest of our time on the YouTube and how to actually use all the stuff we talked about in the first hour in the second hour. All right, I'll see you in 10. Yeah, so YouTube is our channel of choice here. They do great with SEO and just engaging in general. Each of you can have for free your own channel. So you probably already have one if you have a Gmail account. If not, you can set up a Gmail account, not use it for anything else, forward it to your regular email, your Fathom email, or whatever you're using. But everybody who has any Gmail account has a YouTube channel. And the channel has some mechanics to it. You can see I put just I'm a minimalist when it comes to design. So you see, I just have my logo, my name, that's it. But before that, I actually had a picture from the mountaintop with, my laptop open, of course, on the page, and a book bag and a backpack and all that stuff to kind of set a mood. And then I went to just straight up, not distracting, making it clean and simple, because that tends to stand out better. So a little header graphic. Canva is your friend here, and I'm talking about Canva in just a bit. But Canva is your friend. That's where I'm designing most of this. I've spent years, as has my business partner, in Adobe Design and Illustrator and all the rest, and we still default to Canva now. It's just too easy to get great design and content, so that's what I'm using. And then you see my name and the subscribers, and then you can see the different elements here: the home, videos, playlists, community, channels, and about. So basically, this is a website. This is your free website on YouTube. In your channel, you're going to have your video library, but typically people are finding your library because you shared them. One of the ways that we have found people will actually engage your video is with the thumbnail, an engaging thumbnail as a cover. So in other words, when you're looking at a YouTube channel, you see a video and somebody's going, and like they got this weird face that's frozen in time. People don't engage those. You can actually upload your custom thumbnail, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a bit. But this cover thumbnail allows them to catch their eye, and so simple is better. You don't want a whole written description of your video on there. You just want to have something simple. We have found that having a person on there, your face, tends to engage better, and having a simple title. Notice that when I'm looking at, and I'll just do this now. Let me go here. I'll share my YouTube channel here. All right, I'm going to go and apologize in advance for anything that come up on my YouTube. That's political stuff is really that's the only thing that may be questionable on here. I do like a good spoof on politicians. Anyways, so notice when we get here, when I'm looking at this landing page for me on YouTube. Over here in the right, you can see the honest trailers, and then the 3 actors from Red Notice. You could see this is Tim Cook standing there with a little slogan over him. These are all thumbnails. Notice here with the girl smiling doesn't really get my attention. Although 2 cellos, they're amazing if you like music. They're pretty awesome to listen to. Down here with Jimmy Yang, all these weird American things. Look, it's just his face there and that graphic. These thumbnails are all designed to be what you see unless they're not. So when you get down here to the liberal redneck, it's his face because he didn't do a thumbnail, and it's not as engaging as these other graphics that you see here. And you can create these graphics on your own. So when I go to Canva, I'm going to go here to templates, and I'm going to look for YouTube channel art. And I've got a whole selection of templates here for my thumbnails. These are important. These are the #1 way people engage and connect with you. Now, if you don't want to do channel art, you can just do YouTube thumbnails. That'll also give you some templates here. All right. And so I'm going to go choose this product review template. All right. That's what I'm going to go choose. Now, this is already sized exactly the way it needs to be to fit exactly as it needs to on the YouTube video. So I'm going to go to, yeah, this is fine. So I have all these different elements here. I may not have to change much. All right. And so I'm going to put that there. I'm going to get rid of her because she doesn't look like me. I'm going to go over to, uploads is fine. And I'm just going to pull a video. Let's do this graphic. This is the graphic of me sitting on my couch over here on my left. And now that I got this here, I'm going to go to edit image, and I'm going to go over here to BG remover, and that's the background remover. And it's going to click along for just a second. It's pretty smart. It's got a good little algorithm going. And then once it's done, you see that's just me there. So, all right, I'm going to go and move this around a little bit. Some of the more trendy YouTubers are now using a white outline for them. So I'm going to go back over to edit image, go to shadows and glow. And I'm going to edit this a little bit. All right. So I'm going to click on the glow, and then it's got the size. So I don't like the black. That's not very contemporary anymore. That's kind of old school. I want the size to be a little bit bigger. I want the transparency to be none, and I don't want any blur. So I get a solid white line around that. So I may want to go back off that a little bit. All right. And I get that kind of cutout look with the background. And I don't really like yellow. With teal, that X is fine, but I can go a different direction. I'm going to go to my logo section, and I'm going to replace that little circle with my logo. And boom, I'm done. Now, the trick to this, if you will, is that when you go to download, you're going to get a PNG, but it starts off at size 1. YouTube does not allow large files. They're trying to get you to go smaller. So you can go down to half, 0.5 will be the size on their scale, or you can click on compress quality. I found that if I just go down to 0.5, it works just fine. I'm going to download this to my computer, and now I've got a thumbnail to upload. When I go and upload my video, and it's a little sequence, but I just want to show you your videos. When I go to edit a video, or photo, when I'm uploading it or when I'm editing it, you're going to see down here this section that says thumbnails. Now notice these are the thumbnails that YouTube automatically grabbed. Now these are still shots from embedded videos I use to edit this video, which is a little bit beyond what we'll talk about in the class here. But this is the one that they had. This isn't going to be engaging. It's me and a weird look and my mouth half open and there's nothing there. This is more engaging. So I would just click on this box that says upload your own thumbnail and upload what I just created in Canva. So we got it? Okay, cool. If not, there's a 12-year-old in Australia on YouTube that does great videos on Canva. Knock yourself out. It's all free. We are the same level of maturity if you're looking for an equal lecturer. All right. So that is a quick down and dirty on how easy it is to create those engaging, those photos, those thumbnails rather, to get people interest. That is what's going to get their attention. Okay. Canva, which we just talked about. And then YouTube. So YouTube has its own SEO, but Google's indexing it, but you've got to give it something to work with. What it indexes is not that still graphic that we just created to use as a thumbnail. It indexes our title and it indexes our description, but mostly the title. So the title's got to be engaging. It's got to be something that's going to make me click. Most people, like any other standard writing, there is actually, I'm going to add this link here. This is not my curriculum, but I'll share it with you anyways. CoSchedule has a free tool called a headline analyzer. And it's actually designed to help you write blog post titles or email subject lines. It's free. I'm going to share that on here because I use this sometimes to double check my work when I'm writing blog post or a YouTube video. Not all the time, because I usually have a pretty good handle. After you've used the tool a few times, you'll figure it out. But CoSchedule is free, and you can use that, the link I just gave you, to go add the title to your YouTube video, and it'll say, hey, this is going to have a low readership, or nobody knows what that word means, or this isn't going to be as engaging. Here's what we suggest. And it'll help you figure out the best title based on the content you've written. And then, of course, the description. Now, one of the things I recommend in the description is that you use some disclosures and just save that language. So I have I'm using Apple Notes for this. I was using Evernote for probably 12 years, and Apple Notes just really came into their own here. And so I'm going to share that real quick. So I have saved this default signature. All right. Do you guys see my signature? The YouTube signature line? Okay. So this is some stuff that we're going to talk about in just a second. I'll come back to the time codes in a minute. Where am I? Here. Yeah. So I've got a link to my website, and I've got emojis. These emojis are important. We have found that people's eyes will be attracted to the little picture, and then they'll read the line afterwards. So in your description, I've got a very standard signature line I copy into every single video. And it's got, go to my webpage. I have recommended gear, reading suggestions, resources for realtors. For you, this is my instructor one. I'm sorry, I thought I picked up the agent one. On the agent one, it says, here's my review of parks in Fredericksburg. Here's my recommended activities for kids. Here's a list of my favorite restaurants in Fredericksburg. And then I have my social media links because I want them. I'm building a tribe. These videos are not always intended to get people to sign a listing agreement or buyer agreement with you. And that's what's killing a lot of agents now, is they're not trying to do the necessary work to build a following and build their bigger sphere of influence online. They're trying every piece of marketing, better result in a buyer or seller. It doesn't work that way anymore. So we're just trying to continue to engage people. The number share that we've seen means that every consumer knows on average 6 real estate agents. I'm trying to be, of those 6, the one that's most notable and memorable by sharing things that help them in their lives that they like. So I'm keeping that there. I've got a description about me, a little written bio, because that's also going to help with SEO. And then I've got a disclosure. In this case, again, this is one for real estate agents. I got a disclosure that says, hey, if I say stupid stuff, it's not on my company, it's all me. This is all my opinion. But I've also got my, in case they're the real estate police, I've got I'm licensed in the Commonwealth of Virginia, DC, and Maryland. I'm with this company. Here's the city and state of my office. I'm a realtor. And then whatever disclosures I have that are always there. That makes it very easy that when I go to create content, I can just copy and paste this. So all I need is a good title now, 2 or 3 sentences to describe my video, and boom, I've got the rest of this saved, so I can go easily add it to my content. Now, there was something specific I wanted to pull up here. Yeah. So the other thing that is in, it's not in that line. I thought it was here and I don't have it here. Sorry. All right. I really thought I had that. I don't have it in the video. Anyways, what I'm supposed to be showing you, what I forgot, is also in that section. Again, I have the code of ethics requirement, as Mark is sharing with me, and the state law requires disclosures of who we are, and it's in there. Your brokerage may require disclosures about who you are in there. And then I have links to other things. So you want to make sure that's there. Oh, and that's what I was gonna say. If you have listings, I thought I had a listing video here. For me, I take the listing video down off of YouTube after it's sold because I don't want to deal with any of the questions about, am I continuing to marketing and am I just putting too much information out there, whatever. I just take them down. While they're up, I have a link in the header that says, if it's under contract, that it's under contract. Remember that 135.2160 of the Virginia Administrative Code, if you're in Virginia, says that I have to disclose the actual status of a property. So in the description, I have for sale, in the listing. When it goes under contract, I have under contract in the listing. So I am updating my YouTube, it's in my checklist, update my YouTube video from when it goes under contract. And when it sells, I just delete the video because I don't want it lingering after we sold. I don't want anybody accusing me of marketing a property after it's sold or misleading marketing. You, however, and the way I tell other agents is that you may not be quite as conservative as I am. You can go ahead and put that out there and just put sold in the thing. Now you got a whole library of your past videos. If you want to do that, there's no reason not to. As long as you're very clear in the subject line that's sold. Somebody just put it in the description. I think that's too nuanced. All right. What's the next thing I want to go over? All right. And then under editing, you're going to see, here's my full description. So I've got the written description of the, let me get my annotation tool here. I've got the written description here. Again, 2 or 3 sentences about what this video is about. If you are doing listings, you want the address of the property in there for sure, even though it's in their title also. You want to have 1 or 2 call to actions to it, and then also a link to your single listing webpage. I'm assuming everybody has a single listing webpage. You're going to link from the video there so they can get all the information they need. If you're doing another promotional video, like, these are my favorite parks in Winchester, I may list the names of all the parks, so when people are searching for them, they'll see them. Down here, I have time codes. Not every video needs time codes. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to go to a video I just did yesterday. I did a training for my company on the new contract that came out. We did a webinar and I posted the video. And here you can see, let me get rid of the annotation tool. Clear. Okay, here when I hover, there's these segments. See how there are different chapters. Everybody see that on the screen? So now if an agent says, I took your webinar, but I really want to know again, how did you use that zip form clause editor? They can hover over these and go straight to that chapter that's broken out. So if you have anything over maybe 60 seconds, you want to put chapters in there. It's super easy to do. Down here in the description, you can see the chapters are all there. So what happens is if you go to the description and you start with this magical line, 0:00 introduction, that tells YouTube that everything after that is timestamps and it will automatically add all these chapters in there. Does that make sense? Kind of cool. So that's all you have to do is in the description, type in the time, and you see these are hyperlinked now to go to those chapters. The time, the title doesn't matter. The title will show up here when you hover over those things. And then you watch your video and you put the timestamp in the colon format. So if you get to the 1 hour, it's the 1 hour colon numbered double digits. Everything here is up until you get to that point is just number colon number. All right. And so, anyway, so that's how you add those chapters in there. All right. So a couple tidbits with this is that, again, you want a good and compelling name of your video. you want a description of your video. That's really the only two things you have to create after the thumbnail and the video itself to get some attention. Then you want time codes. And then your video can be posted. Now, one thing I don't have on the slides, some of you are super fancy, and you are creating high definition videos. So if you are, I don't know how to do this on the Android device, but I'm sure you can. On your iPhone, you can choose 4K as a video recording option. It is not there by default because it takes up a lot of space. So again, I get the terabyte hard drive on my phones because I do a lot. This is I don't know why we call these phones anymore. This is my media center. Most of my marketing is done here, but I get the larger drive space so I can do everything in 4K. If you're uploading your video to YouTube, the process of uploading is incredibly straightforward. You go click the upload button. Yeah. And then once you've uploaded it, it's going to ask you a series of questions. It's going to ask you a title, a description. Is this for kids? And the answer is no. If you're creating child content, like for kids, it puts it in a whole different category and there's different vetting stuff. So what we do, we just say, no, it's not for kids. And then you can go to the next setting. And I am going to walk through that if we have time. But what I wanted to do is a drop in here because some of the stuff I just went through, it should be pretty straightforward. But if it's too much, YouTube has a creator academy at creatoracademy.youtube.com that has incredibly simple tutorials about every part of YouTube. They want your content and they are making it easy to understand how to get it there and how to be successful with it, including monetizing it. I have an agent friend out of Texas. She's been creating content for about 3 years. And recently, people are now paying to put ads on her content because she has so many people going to her site. And her YouTube video, you won't see a single listing for sale on there. It is completely about lifestyle in Texas. She visits the right restaurants. She talks about the parks. She goes to aquariums. She talks to store owners. There's not a single thing about selling real estate. It's implied, it's in her description, it's in her disclosures, it's on her site. You go there to find out who she is. She's now making about $35,000 a month off of advertisers because she's basically a tour guide for Dallas, Texas. Now, Fairfax isn't cool like Dallas, Texas. Gainesville sure as heck isn't cool enough like Dallas, Texas. But you may not be getting that kind of money coming in. But she called me. She goes, I'm making more money from the advertisements than I am selling real estate. I'm like, well, sell more real estate. Why not do both? But she's in her 60s. She is not polished. She's not someone who looks like an actress who's been talking in front of a camera forever. She's pretty much your everyday. You would not be able to pick her out of an audience if you had to, but she's consistent. Twice a week, every week for 3 years, she has posted something about her favorite parts of Texas. And oh, by the way, she's paying somebody on $5 or $15 a video to edit it for her so she can post it. This is a very low tech person. She uses her phone. The lighting is always great, but people follow her because she's consistent and because she loves the city. So YouTube Creator Academy will help you figure those things out well beyond this class or this webinar that we're in today. The next thing is editing. And so there are a number of options for editing. Let me back up here. A lot of people, again, are trying very hard to do fancy stuff. I went to Fiverr, and as much as I love video editing, I was having a huge creative block about what I wanted for my intro video. And let me show you real quickly what that looks like. So I'm going to share this real quick. This cost me $20 on Fiverr to have created. I don't think I've shared the sound. Hold on, sorry. Yep, I did. All right, that little intro makes that whole video look super professional. Now I paid $20 on Fiverr to have that created for me. They said, what kind of music do you want? I said, I want white, minimalist looking background. Here's my logo. And the next afternoon, I had that end final product. I was like, sweet. And they actually give me an outro too. Now, the thing that you're going to do with those is that is not, I made a lot of mistakes building out these channels and these videos. You talking about what you're going to tell them and then playing the intro works much better than starting the intro first and then talking. Because it says, hey, my name's Matthew. We're here to talk about the dog park downtown Fredericksburg. I think you're going to love this. And then it's that intro. And then it's me talking about the dog park for 60 seconds. And then it's the outro. That little splice and drop in was why I learned how to edit video. So that I could get that instead of being at the beginning, in the middle. And if you've noticed in the YouTube videos you're watching now, they're not doing transitions. It's hard splices. Like it's very jerky. That's just the nature of it, because all the editors are like, we're too lazy to put transitions in here and we want to edit out stuff we don't like. And so we're going to make it cool now. And so they just made it a trendy thing to have bad, hard edits. And so when you're watching it and they're just going from one word to the next, and it seems like very quick edits, which is actually what it's called, quick edits. That's trendy now. You don't have to work hard at this. Just cut out the stuff you don't like, boom, and post. Editing can be done on YouTube. YouTube actually has a video editor. I'm going to show you, I think I'm doing fine on time. I'm going to show you what that looks like on the video.
You're doing good, Matthew. Whatever you need to do is fine.
Okay. So I don't have anything on my books for the rest of the day, and I could talk about this stuff forever. Anyways, all right. So I'm going to go to my videos, and I mentioned earlier, uploading is you actually click on create button up here at the top. And then I'll ask you, click on upload videos. And then when you upload it, it's going to bring you to a screen that has a few questions. Their job is to get you there as quickly as possible. The one thing you have to remember is when you upload the video, if you're doing 4K or you're doing high definition, they will render the SD, the standard definition video first, just to get your content ready. And then they will spend another couple hours, depending on the length and quality of your video, to render the high definition version. My suggestion is if you're doing 4K, let YouTube do their work. It takes hours, honestly, to do the high definition. The standard definition is going to look fuzzy and pixelated, not great. I usually upload it and let it set, and I will share it tomorrow when it has been done high definition. So I'm going to go over here to this video. Okay. And when I clicked on the video, so this video is already uploaded. And over here, you see the video quality has standard definition, high definition, and 4K. There are elements of this video that are in 4K, the high definition. Over here, there's the visibility, the public. So the public means everybody can see it. And it'll be searchable, it'll be shareable, everybody can share it with a link. Unlisted, only the people who get the link can see it. In other words, you won't see it in recommended content. You won't see it on a channel. It's hidden from everybody unless you share the link. And then lastly is private, where no one can share it, even if they have a link. Only you have it, and you can do all sorts of other things like private sharing with it.
Hey, Matthew, are we supposed to be seeing your screen? Because all we see is you.
Okay. Nobody needs to see that. Why isn't that sharing? Well, funny enough, Mark, all I can see on my Zoom is you. So hold on. All right. How about now? Is that better?
We're both going to miss our appetite.
All right. Can you see it now?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So over here, this is the visibility. It's public, unlisted, or private. Generally, you want public for everybody to see it. Every once in a while, I do an unlisted video. Like if it's just for my own company or my own team, I'll do unlisted and just send a link to them, so it's not searchable by everybody else. And you can put subtitles in. I personally don't get this fancy. There is a clear caption button. I'm trying to find something here. All right, Keanu Reeves is always safe.
I sometimes miss this version.
So notice here, there's a CC button underneath. If you do nothing at all, then it defaults to an AI, the artificial intelligence model creates the clear caption, and you have these words here. And there may be stuff that you want to go look at and go, did they transcribe that right? I one time was doing a interview of a new restaurant coming in, and the marketing gal and I were talking, and a fire truck came racing by, and I said, "It's the hottest place in Fredericksburg," because I'm a dad, and the dad jokes just come out of my mouth. I can't help them sometimes. But the transcription did not say fire truck, but it said another F word. It was not very flattering. And I learned by then that I need to rewatch all my videos in closed caption. You can go edit the closed caption or add your own subtitles here, and you can edit what they've already created. So generally, I speak clearly enough with good enough equipment that I don't have to go edit it. They usually catch up fine. That was standing outside with wind and fire trucks and all the rest. And so I'm glad I went back and, well, I didn't go edit it. A friend of mine watched it and she said, "I don't think you said this word." I'm like, I 100% said that word, but I did not say that word on video. So we're good. Anyways, so here's where I'm going to check the visibility. I can change subtitles. In cards, in screen and cards are really not something that you need to worry about at this level. If you get super duper into this, you can do little drop-ins and referrals to other videos, but for now, we're going to stick with this. When I've uploaded the video, YouTube has a down and dirty editor that I can go to where I can make edits of my video here on their site. The one thing I will tell you I like about this is the blur parts of your video function. When I do videos of my clients' homes, sometimes they have little Susie's names bedazzled on the wall of the bedroom, and I will pixelate any kids' names or references, picture of kids on horses, anything that would give away to somebody creepy too much detail about the family. If they have a gun rack, I will pixelate the gun rack so you can't see what's really there. I do that on virtual tours, on videos, on photos. I will Photoshop out little Susie's name or little Susie on a horseback, whatever. But here you can blur parts of the video if you need to. You can also add music. So I can add a soundtrack that is all royalty free from YouTube. They give you a bunch of songs here to sort through that you can add for the duration of your video. You can pixelate stuff here, and then you can add, again, end screens, which is like a call to action to go to a different video. I don't particularly find them very useful. I think they're kind of ugly, and it's a little more advanced than we're talking about here. You can drop in comments. So if you say something you can review comments and edit comments here. I clicked the wrong button here. You can add on these cards too. I will say that I don't use add cards very often, but if you said something wrong in your video or the world's updated and whatever you said isn't accurate, you can go back here to drop a card in at a specific spot in your video to say, that was true 3 years ago when I said it. I just found out something new, and just put a little comment there, because you can't replace your video once it's there. And so if I don't like something's here, something's changed, I do the drop-in card here to change it, as opposed to replacing the video, because then I lose all the comments and likes and views and everything else for my videos throughout time. So once it's there forever. Then I can go and engage comments here and edit them. And I will say that I have 2 female agents in my company who get incredibly inappropriate comments all the time. And they're not doing anything inappropriate. They're not dressed. I mean, they're fine. They don't, even if they were not dressed in a certain way, they're very conservative, but even if they weren't, they don't deserve these comments. But people are creepy, and they have some anonymity here with fake names and stuff you can't track. And so they say some very, very rude things. So you can go block them, and you can also delete comments. And then you can this is where you go to the subtitles and to go look and see what was there and edit it if you need to. So that's the down and dirty on the video here. Again, you can change your stuff here, and you can add the playlist. So we'll talk about playlists real quick. Playlists are great. They're just basically groupings of videos. Here's the magic of a playlist. I have 2 for this channel, or this one is marked for 2: real estate technology training and mobile marketing tools. So when I go back to my channel, if you go to my channel, you can go to playlists, and let's say the only thing you want is you want to see about mobile marketing tools that I have, you can go view the playlist and see all the videos I've done there. So if you're an agent and you're doing this channel for favorite restaurants in your region, you would have a restaurants playlist. You may have a tech playlist. You may have a gardening playlist, a dog park playlist. You see, I've got client information here. This video, it's an interesting one too. This video has been up there since 2014. I basically did a PowerPoint on the new construction process and I talked over it, and it's horrible, guys. It's so bad, but it was 2014. I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing. Anyways, it's really, really bad. And it's really bad because it's 21 minutes long, which is kind of long for a YouTube video. But also because there's no engagement. It's just me talking over it. And there's only 345 views. Aw. But I got 2 buyers out of it. So I leave it there because even though it's bad, people were still like, we want to work with you. We want to help you make some money so you can do better videos. I don't know what they were thinking, but it worked. So I left it there because some of this old, not so great stuff still works. So anyways, here's all of my playlists for this particular channel. And they will watch it. When they watch it, it auto plays the next one. So like, here's my practice of real estate. Look over here. Here's all the videos that I've done for agents in the practice of real estate. And when this one ends, how to write an agent bio ends, notice here, there's also little chapters, and this one's got about 11,000 views. When that ends, it automatically plays the next one in the playlist. So that leaves the consumer engaged. And instead of getting cat videos from somebody else's playlist, by putting in a playlist, they get my content until the playlist is ended, if they're silly enough to sit there for hours and days. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, so playlists are a really good tool for this to help build out the page. It also just organizes stuff, and I really need that. I mentioned earlier about the header, and then there's social media links there because everything should have your social media links. That is done by clicking this customize channel button. And under the customize channel button, you can rearrange your page, so to speak, like your uploads and these different modules. See, when you go to my channel, I got uploads first, what's popular on my content, real estate tech training, practice of real estate. That is all sorted here in the features. And so I can move those around to whatever order I want them in on the prior site. Under branding, I use the banner image to upload the image I created in Canva. And I searched YouTube header, and I got the template. Well, I got the sizes there, the template I just made. I can add a watermark, and you want to put your watermark here and say yes, because notice it's adding a subscribe button. That helps people hit the subscribe button so that when you create videos, they're made aware of them, and it brings them back to your channel. That's how they get more content from you. And then of course, your personal picture. Under basic information, I have my disclosure, nice little description. And then I also have the link. When you get, I think it's 500 subscribers. I don't remember what the number is. There's a certain point where you can go here, go do it now. I may be completely wrong. Maybe you can do it now. I think you had to have 500 subscribers before. Now I think you have to have 500 subscribers to monetize your site and get money from advertisers. That may be what the 500 is. Nonetheless, I created a custom URL. This is what most of our URLs look like to share with people. You can go here and customize it and type in whatever URL you want, so long as no one else has it, to make it easier to share when you're putting links. And if you notice, on all my websites and my signature line and my email, going to my YouTube channel is my #1 thing now. That's the thing I'm promoting most because I get most engagement there. And then under here, you see links, and this is where I'm adding my social media links and my website links, and then I want it on the banner. All of that creates this over here, where you see they can click about this to get to my website, and then my social media links was all created under the basic information down here. All right. And then your email address for where you want them to contact you. I think that's it. That's it for the bio stuff. That stuff matters. You wouldn't, I actually get a lot of Instagram, not so much Facebook. I get a lot of Instagram followers that came from the YouTube channel because you can track where everybody comes from. And then your links need to be there, and then your banner. I like simple, but you can have whatever banner you want on there. Okay, and then also you can add, I haven't done this, but you can do a spotlight video. So when you get to some channels here at the top, instead of seeing my section, you can embed an introduction video going, hey, this is me and welcome to my channel. In fact, I think Sarah Dishi has this one. Maybe not. Maybe not everybody has this one. There we go. So Ali Abdal, who is, I'm going to add this because he is my favorite YouTuber ever. One of my favorite YouTubers ever. He's definitely worth following. He was a doctor who left medicine because he was making literally millions of dollars on YouTube talking about nonsense. And it's good nonsense, but it's all like productivity and life hacks and stuff. And he had to give up medicine so he could focus on his channel. Anyways, it's really, really good stuff. He is the template. Just do what he does. Just, you can't afford the gear he has, so do it. Just, you're on your own, you'll be fine. He also teaches a lot about this stuff on his own. Anyways, you see here, he's got this video that's embedded or pinned to the top. You can do that on your channel here by clicking channel trailer or featured video for returning subscribers based on whether you're a call to action, here's who I am and please subscribe, or a featured video for people who are already subscribers. It'll change based on that. Asking people to subscribe is important. You'll see in most of my videos where I say, please don't, before going further, don't forget to subscribe down below. And when I did that, that's when I went from 200 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers just in the past month or so, because I started asking for people to do it and reminding them, and they did. And then the audio library lets you choose from all the music they have. Now, for full disclosure, I don't use the YouTube editing tool unless I'm doing something in the video that has to be removed because it became wrong, like it was right at the time I said it, or I later found out maybe that's not accurate. I don't usually use it there because it's limiting. It's very, very simple editor. Instead, I use a couple desktop editors. And like I said earlier, I use my iPad for a lot of stuff. There are analytics as well. Every video, and I'm running out of time here, so I won't spend a lot of time there. In your YouTube channel, on your videos, it'll show you analytics. So this is one of my videos. This was Evernote for real estate agents. At that time, it was 9,000 views. Yeah.
If you need to go a little over, I mean, I'm not talking about, dinner time, but if you need to go a little over, I think everybody's really enjoying this. So feel free to take a few extra minutes. That's fine.
Okay. I will. I don't think Tom's enjoying this, but no, I'm kidding.
Is Tom awake?
He forgot he was in a class. Okay. Anyway, I will only go maybe 2 minutes over. Anyway, so analytics and YouTube videos, when you click on the video, it'll show you how many views you had, where they came from at the bottom. It'll tell you, is this a link from somewhere else? Did they come from search on YouTube? That'll help you know where to place more links and push in. I'm getting a lot of traffic from LinkedIn on my agent videos. I get more traffic on Facebook for my client focused videos. And that makes total sense if you think about it. So I know where to share those. It'll tell me how much money I made off of it. I made 17 bucks that month in this video. I don't know what happened to it, but anyways, but I can also see subscribers. So this video here accounts at that time, this is old, a couple years old, the screenshot, but it looks the same now. It accounted for 60 subscribers just that month. And so I know which videos are performing well. So I know to do more like that and what to fix on the ones that aren't performing as well. I look at my audience retention, and this is where I tell you 90 seconds is important. This is where we get this from. Audience retention shows that this is where they start. You can see that on your screen. That line is high at the top. And as the video goes longer, people drop off. They want their information in the first about 90 seconds. And after that, you don't get a lot of attention from them, depending on the content. And it tells you, what they found interesting and how active it was. This particular video is about 7 years old. And notice as always, you get your highest number of viewers when you launch it, but I'm still getting hundreds of views a month on a video 7 years later. The shelf life of this is incredible when you have good content out there, especially if it's local town content. And so again, you can see where these folks are coming from. You can even see what kind of browser, what kind of computer, what state or country they're from. It tells you a whole lot about going there. I do particularly well with very old ladies in Fredericksburg. I want you to know the Cougar crowd, that is my target audience. 100 or better, man, they are listing their luxury homes with me like you wouldn't believe. No, I do. If you do videos about animals, you're going to see by gender and age for me, when I do a lot of dog stuff. I did a lot of dog stuff. I don't do as much anymore. That I would actually hit really well with mature females. When I do stuff around town, I was hitting 25 to 35, pretty good mix of male and females who are looking for things to do with their kids. I imagine all of the males at age 30 who are looking at my videos were the dads who had weekend duty for their kids. And now they're like, what do I do with these animals for 2 days? They're the ones checking out my videos to go see what do I do with them and what section of woods can I leave them in? Yeah, for sometimes we just equip the serial killers. I don't know. All right, a couple quick things, and then I will wrap up here. Editing tools. Candace, I'm going to come back to that in a second. If you're an Apple user, iMovie is free and it works great on all your Apple devices. It's very, very, very easy to use. There's also a huge support team out there. If you have any question about iMovie, go ask it. If you're fancy and you want to put some money into this and you're good at editing, Final Cut Pro is the adult version of iMovie, but it does require a lot of getting used to, but it will migrate iMovie to Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro is used by professionals, so most of us don't need that. You can use iMovie just fine. If you are a Windows user, OpenShot is really good and super easy to learn with lots of features for free for your PC people. So iMovie for Apple, PC for OpenShot for PCs. And then for both platforms, if you want to be more immediate, Pixar uses this software and it's absolutely free. And it's called DaVinci from Blackmagic Design. It does require a little bit more learning curve. It took me about a year to really feel super comfortable with it. But it does beautiful, beautiful stuff. And it's all open source and free. There's lots of support for it from other users online and on YouTube. And then, yeah, WeVideo is great too. Somebody direct message. WeVideo is a good editor too. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of them out there. I'm giving you the ones that I've played with and used to know that they're free and they work pretty well. And so you can grow into whatever you like out there. And then lastly, none of this does any good if you don't share with your tribe. Creating the video and putting it on YouTube will only get you so far. You got to share. You'll find if you follow me on LinkedIn or Facebook, I share videos I did 3 years ago. As long as they're still relevant, I will bring them back and reshare them from the blog or website or whatever to get life breathed back into them, because I don't have time to create new content for them this week because I'm doing other things. I will use that old content and no one's ever complained, and you'll see hundreds of views come on it. But that's because I nurture my tribe, my Facebook, my Instagram, not so much Twitter anymore, and then LinkedIn. I do spend a lot of time sharing stuff on those 3 platforms. And generally it's not the same thing. So if I share a video on Facebook, I'll wait a week and share it on LinkedIn. So I'm extending that out so they're not seeing the same piece of content over and over again on the same day. And I use a calendar. So I know the next 6 months are planned. I know what I'm sharing on a weekly basis. And those videos can be reused over and over again if I don't create something. If I create something, of course, I'm going to post that. So again, you gotta make sure you got to share it. Do it the day after you post. If you're doing it in high definition, and let YouTube finalize its rendering of high definition and 4K. Otherwise, you'll get the low definition, standard definition, fuzzy pixelated stuff. And after that, it's really just going to making a video. All this technical stuff and all these things, I'm going to give the video to Mark so he can share with all you guys at Fathom. So you can watch this again and go back to those tutorials. But anything that you missed, again, there's a 12-year-old in Australia. They're always a kid in Australia. These kids have so much time on their hands. They'll show you no matter what you want to know, it's there. Mark and I were talking about at the beginning, so many agents talk about not being tech savvy. All that means to me is you didn't take the initiative to learn, because everything we want to know in the world is online. You can find it out anywhere. All right, let me grab these questions here. You can ask your questions, open up your mic and unmute yourself and put them in the chat. I will stick around until the questions are answered. Otherwise, for those, thank you for the 2 minutes you gave me to go over. I'll let Mark wrap us up as I review and answer some of these questions.
So everyone, thank you for attending. And I hope this was really valuable to you. I will put this in Fathom Academy here in the next couple of days. I'm also going to be putting from Matt Troiani about the 8 new paperwork and contracts, etc. That will also be in Fathom Academy. But thank you very much. And Matthew, great job as you normally do. And when you stay on as long as anybody that wants to leave, go ahead. But I know Matthew's going to be answering some questions, and I'm sticking around as well.
All right, great. Mark, thank you for having me. And thank you guys at Fathom for having me. You all are awesome to work with. All right, so Candace says, do you think uploading videos on YouTube as unlisted and uploading them later or scheduling them later affects their analytics? I don't. Maverick, the analytics won't kick in. You're not going to be damaged for it, is what I guess the best way to answer that. YouTube doesn't say, oh my gosh, you didn't have any traffic in the past 30 days. Google does that. YouTube doesn't. YouTube will count the clock when you go active, and then it'll count the days, months, and year statistics for you. It doesn't penalize you for going unlisted, not that I've ever seen or heard of. And I spent a lot of time following YouTubers learning how to do this stuff, and none of them's brought that up. I've heard that scheduling apps can affect the post visibility in other apps like Instagram. All right, let's just say Facebook sucks. They are so, like, the whole background in politics, the whole way that they function right now is very, very challenging. And you're right, they do penalize you for scheduling content because of the way their clocks work. YouTube doesn't work that way. So you're fine there. And remember, Instagram's owned by Facebook, so they fall into the same nonsensical policies and issues. Leanne, that was very, very kind. Thank you for saying so. You need a lot more training. We all do. I do this for a living, and I'm still taking, this morning at 5:30, I'm watching a YouTuber go, this is how I get new engagement. Never ending. It shouldn't end. Learning's amazing. I'm taking college classes right now because why not? I'm taking psychology, by the way, so I can understand Mark better. Big investment. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And you know what, Don, it is easy. I will say it's just a matter of doing it. You're not going to break the internet. You're not going to break the interwebs. Try not to curse. That tends to put people off, and everything else. No nudity, and try not to curse. And even that, there's an audience for the cursing too, but not really professional. You follow the code of ethics in your content, you're going to be good. And the only critique, and I said this at the beginning, don't badmouth other people. That does not make any of us look good. When I see agents spending their day bad mouthing each other on Facebook or Instagram, or their passive aggressive memes or on YouTube, no one's going to remember that you said that and think you're a better person. They're going to think all of us suck. And I hate that messaging. And it also breaks. Like, when you look at, there's so much science, but they do it anyways. Those negative, like, political postcards and stuff you get, it turns us off. It doesn't make us want to vote for that person. The content you and I create needs to be uplifting and positive and informative. That's the only thing I'll give you, is limited cussing, maybe none. No nudity. That's not what this platform's for. There's other places you can probably go for that, but not this. And then stay away from bad mouthing other people. All right. Anybody else?
Hey, can you hear me, Matt?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey,
John?
just real quick. You know, I know you might have said this in the beginning, and you may have already answered this question. I had to jump off the call for about 2 minutes, so it could have happened during that time. But, you know, having 4 kids and all that stuff, like, I know it's an excuse sometimes to say we don't have enough time, but let's just say time is extremely limited and valuable. How long do you think it takes from start to finish to get one of these videos uploaded and done into YouTube?
Okay, so let me say this about that. I am my agents hear this lecture every single month at our monthly meetings at some level or another. Those kids come first. This career could be 40 years. Those kids, they're only really fun to have around for 10. So I have one that got married last year, and I got one that moved to Dallas for a job, and I really miss them around the holidays. And I'm sitting there going, I hope that I didn't spend 4 days editing video instead of playing with them for the time that I have them. So play with the kids. You can do other stuff for now. And that's not you said that was an excuse. It's not. Those kids that's good. And also, you know, that spouse, been married 28 years. And I didn't do that by sitting out here editing videos all day long. I did that by making money to keep her. Because as Zig Ziglar said, it's marriage is grand, but divorce is $100 grand, and it's cheaper to keep her. Anyways, so from start to finish for a normal video that I'm just posting, I'll spend about 20 minutes setting up the light, the camera, all the stuff, because I've got a system now. I'm going to record. It usually takes me 1 or 2 recording, but I will say that's not normal. I'm very comfortable on a camera, and I usually have scripted it out well enough. Some people take 3 or 4 takes, so maybe an hour recording, and then editing is going to be all of the 20 minutes for what we're doing for real estate. Remember, you're not doing drop-ins and theatric inlays and transitions and all this stuff. Just get the content together. That's what people are there for. Edit out the junk, leave the rest, and then the rendering takes about 20 minutes depending on your device. So maybe an hour and a half total. But remember, that content then resides there until you take it down. So that hour and a half investment in your marketing is time well spent, because that content can be there 6 months. I got a call from somebody. I did a blog post 8 years ago on how to get a fishing license in Virginia. They stumbled on it, remembered me, that we used to work together, and said, we are thinking about selling our house. Can you come talk to us? This content lasts forever. That 90 minutes is time well spent, but about 90 minutes for a standard 2 or 3 minute video.
Hey, Sean, real quick.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of the videos that I post, in our closed group, and also emailing on my YouTube channel. There are times when I'll actually get it done in one take, and we're talking about anywhere, a minute, minute and a half, 2 minute video. And then there are other times where the 4-letter words flow freely from my mouth as I am on my 12th take, and I'm like, what in the name of God? I can't believe I can't get this out. And it's just, and a lot of times it's just practice too, or lack of distraction.
Yeah, the owner of our company is this guy. I think I've been working for him 13 years. The only time I've heard him curse has been in private after we've been drinking. But when he does video, it's a non-extreme of adult words, because he gets so frustrated with himself. I'm sometimes it's longer than others, but walk away. If you're having if you're like not getting what you want, take a breather, walk off, leave the equipment in place and come back to it. Then your mind is reset. And that grease board, or Mark using his 1,000 count thread Egyptian cotton sheets that he writes on, because that's what brokers do, those things help. Little tricks that you do along the way. Candace, what's your take on Reels on Instagram or TikTok for real estate? It's a niche market. If you're watching, I've actually, as much as I love social media and I talk about marketing, I research this stuff all the time. I write NAR's marketing classes. I've written 3 of them now. I think TikTok is garbage. I know there's agents out there talking about, I've got 20,000 viewers, and I look and they're scantily dressed. They're 23 years old and they're dancing in their living room. And I'm going, I can't do that. That's not me. So if you're 23 years old and you got a gym body and you want to dress or dance on TikTok to get following, that's great. There's some comedians on there that are doing well, but for real estate agents, I have not seen any evidence of sales related to TikTok. And it's such a enclosed thing. You're not getting people following you on your social media stuff. So I've seen agents try and are giving advice and 1 or 2 success stories about how somebody reached out to them for a referral or with a client. But you've got to really stand out on that platform, and tons of content. To me, I haven't seen the proof that it's worth the time and effort, or that it reflects who we are as real estate professionals, unless you are young and hot and single, and you're going to get followers because of that. And that's not me. So I don't really see that working for me. Reels is Instagram's answer to TikTok, and it has not caught on nearly as well. The age demographic is very different too. Instagram is getting that 30 to 45. Facebook is getting 55 to whatever, their older group. TikTok is really hitting that 14 to 27-year-old RAM, the people who don't have money. So that's just my 2 cents about it now. Now, I could be wrong, and it could take off and all of a sudden become the social media platform for 40-year-olds. But until then, I only have so much time, as Sean said, in the day. I got to focus on what's working. So I don't do a lot with those. I will say this, in Instagram, whereas I don't see Reels as very valuable, Instagram just released something called Guides. Has anybody seen this? I'm not an expert. It's brand new. So I'll only tell you, I've only played with it. It just came out, I think, within the past 3 weeks. Guides let you go to Instagram and create Well, guides. So you can choose your 5 best restaurants in Gainesville or Fairfax or wherever you are, and you can create a series of guides about your favorite places. And you can put your videos, you can put photos, and the best part is you can use other people's content for this. You don't have to create content; you just have to create the guide. My marketing director just did an in-service for our agents. It took him 9 minutes to explain it and build something. So it's like a 4-minute thing to build these guides. So you click on the plus button on Instagram, like you were creating a story or a reel or uploading a photo, choose guides and just play around with it. I think that's going to be the new hot thing for real estate agents, because that's what we are, right? We're guides. People call us and ask what the best restaurants are, best dog kennels or vets. I think you can add that stuff to it. All right. Any other questions? I do want to give you, speaking of being guides, I'm going to give you one last post that has nothing to do with this stuff, if it comes up here. Using Google to create custom maps as a guide, and this is just sharing a little bit in advance. I'm going to be taking this content, I'm putting this in the chat section. I'm going to be taking that content that I use to create maps as a guide for my marketplace and my favorite trails and restaurants and playgrounds for kids and outside entertainment. And I'm going to be using that stuff to create these Instagram guides for my followers and folks. So you can just see how that line connects. And one of these days I'll go around to creating a video about guides myself. So that's it for me. It's been a long day, guys.